Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. And I'll put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Before there were kings, before there were nations, before the first battlefield was stained with blood, God declared war. Not a war for land, not a war for riches. A war between righteousness and evil. A war between the seed and the serpent. And from that day forward, God has always had his bruisers. Men who stand when others flee. Men who confront darkness instead of making peace with it. Men who carry truth like a sword and faith like a shield. The world calls them stubborn. The Lord calls them faithful. Psalm 91 speaks of them. They dwell in a secret place of the Most High. They walk through pestilence. They walk through terror. They walk through arrows that fly by day. Yet they do not retreat, for the Lord is their refuge and their fortress. The bruiser does not advance because he trusts his own strength. He advances because God goes before him. When Israel forgot God, Jeremiah sounded the alarm. The trumpet was blown. Judgment approached. The nation trembled. Why? Because there were too few men willing to stand in the gap. Too few bruisers. Too few watchmen on the wall. But God has never been without a remnant. Daniel saw kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall. Empires boasted. Rulers exalted themselves. Yet every throne stood only as long as God Almighty allowed. For no kingdom of man can withstand the judgment of heaven. Psalm 94 asks, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers?" The bruisers answer, "Here am I. We will stand. We will fight. Not for glory, not for applause, but for the King." The adversary comes with lies. The bruisers answer with truth. The adversary comes with fear. The bruisers answers with faith. The adversary comes with darkness. The bruisers bring light. Genesis 3:15 was not merely a prophecy. It was a declaration of victory. The serpent bruises the heel, but God's warriors crush the head. Not by their power, not by their might, but by the authority of the Lord of hosts. So let evil tremble. Let darkness rage. Let the enemies of God gather themselves together. For the bruisers are awake. The watchmen are on the wall. The trumpet is sounding. And the King is coming. Stand firm. Hold the line. Advance the kingdom. For the Lord still raises bruisers.